6 weeks, 7 weeks. It may have been 7 weeks since I last saw you on here. And that's because, if you remember, my little Mimi girl, my little kitty, was not feeling very well and she got sicker. And turned out she has a nose tumor. And we got stereotactic radiation therapy in Wisconsin last week, and now we are back and she's doing well, and it's time for me to get back to it. And I have a ton to share with you today, all interesting stuff. I wanted to share with you some survey results to help you plan for 2022, survey results about content marketing, predictions for next year. A little bit more about Facebook in case you haven't had enough of Facebook this week. Facebook advice on how to untangle the data mess in the aftermath of Apple's privacy update. Apple, I wonder where I came up with that. So let's start though by talking about what the hell is going on with Facebook. So we learned that from the Facebook whistleblower that Facebook has no soul, which we already knew. Then Facebook crashed and influencers lost their minds, which teaches us something really important: to not build on borrowed land. This has been something that I've been talking about for as long as Facebook has been around, when the questions started coming up from small businesses as to whether or not they should just use Facebook and now Instagram as their primary space instead of their website. Well, this is highlighting the importance of investing in organic marketing, investing in your organic search, on your search optimization, and other ways to be found than through Facebook and Facebook ads. Small businesses in particular felt the outage that happened earlier this week more so than others. And again, really important to consider, do you really want to build on borrowed ground? More on Facebook advertising later on. Facebook has also started this past week inviting Instagram content creators to make reels. And if you get over 1.75 million views, you may get some money. Influencers are reporting varied offers from $600 to $800. Just another chapter in the Facebook versus TikTok battle. If you see one of those, please let me know. Drop a comment below, because I would love to know what kind of offer you got, since it appears that different people are seeing different offers. Maybe your views are more valuable than mine. I don't know if that's what Facebook's trying to tell us. But let's dive into content marketing for 2022. It is time. And Springboard surveyed an audience of over 100,000 storytellers. And here's a summary of what they found. 67% of responders said they expected content marketing budgets to increase in 2022, with just 5% saying that they expect a decrease. According to, and on top of this content marketing, primarily organic type of content marketing work, which obviously is getting a lot more attention every year, data from IPG shared through Adweek, I believe, is also showing that ad spend will continue to increase at about 12% a year, which has been steady. It's been steady over the past couple of years. What does that mean to you? Well, a lot more competition and diminished results if you don't also increase your budgets. So start thinking about that. How much do you want to invest in content marketing and paid advertising next year? Make sure that you understand that if you keep your investments as they've been this year, you will probably see diminished returns because there's going to be a lot more competition. All right. How about content types? So the same study showed that about 49% of responders said we'll see fewer white papers in 2022, and 60% of responders said we'll see more podcasts. We kind of could have guessed that latter one, but really, fewer white papers. Now, of course, the Twitterverse jumped in and said, no way, it depends on industry, so don't ditch your white paper plans yet. But my favorite finding is that 30% of responders said their boss had no clue what they do. In terms of ROI, that is. Or is it? Listen, marketing is a cost. So unless you're willing to measure data properly and over the long run, and even get into lifetime customer value calculations, stop trying to measure ROI against a small data set and at just that one little moment in time. Also know that, especially in B2B, unless you keep track of every single touch point and assign value to each of it, you'll never be able to measure marketing ROI properly. All right, moving on. I can speak more of that another time. Google announced a new Search Console integration into Google Analytics, which will provide more specific data, which could help you develop a more all-encompassing and engaging SEO optimization process. Now, here's the thing that I want to shout from the rooftops. Get your Search Console set up. I can't tell you how many businesses I work with who don't even know it exists. And they don't understand how critical it is to analyzing your organic search presence. Now, with this deeper integration, I hope it's going to give you more of an incentive to pay attention to Search Console. And in case you haven't had enough about Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, well, Instagram retired IGTV, or announced they will be retiring it, will be merging video feed posts into a single format. And TikTok is testing new options to pin selected video clips to the top of your profile. Facebook outlined impacts of data's tracking update, Apple's data tracking update, or what I called it earlier, Apple's data tracking update, and has created a document on your website with tips for how brands can improve ad performance, because we've felt it. I mean, the Facebook ads data right now looks horrendous unless you do some of these following things that I'm going to share with you, and really do take the time to consider this. So here they are. Analyze the campaign, not just the creative. A lot of focus in marketing is being placed on the ad itself. But there's a lot of levers at a campaign and an ad set level that can impact the performance of your ad, like your bidding strategies, who you're targeting is not just about the pretty pictures. So analyze the campaign, not just the creative. Set up conversion API. And I could put a link in the description to this document where it gives more detail about how to do that. But basically, that's a different way of collecting data or communicating data between Facebook and your website than just using pixels. Configure web events using aggregated event measurement. This just means choosing the web events like a purchase or a sign up that are most aligned with your core business outcomes and are frequently used as the events to optimize against in your campaigns. If you're running ads, optimize against events that have not been prioritized in Events Manager, you may not see as effective results. Another important thing is to follow learning phase best practices. So when you set up an ads campaign in Facebook, oftentimes you'll see it sitting in learning mode. If it's sitting in learning mode for more than 48, 72 hours, you haven't set this up right. And there's a number of things you can do to get your campaigns out of learning mode. You may have set the goal, such as conversions, but you're not getting enough conversions. So Facebook is the ad is not learning, the campaign is not learning, so it can't get out of learning mode because there's not enough conversions. So set a different goal where you get higher volumes of transactions. By transactions, I mean if you set a goal of traffic to the website, you get a higher volume of those instances so that the algorithm can learn. Other things that you can do there is to expand your audiences. Sometimes we go way too narrow, way too narrow. We get obsessed with this persona targeting approach, and we plug in a ton of elements. Well, the beautiful thing about these new engines, these new advertising options, is that they learn and do the optimization for you. So start a little wider, because the system will learn and start showing your ads to the right people who may really click on them, or whatever goal you set when you set up the ads. And last but not least, Facebook says, consider all of the tools available outside of Facebook. Sorry, Facebook is saying, sorry, this is as much as we can do. Don't just count on us and our tools. Add in more tracking into your toolbox, which should have been the case all along. So that's the big news of the week. Let me know if you found something that that's been cool, interesting, and maybe not Facebook related this week. And now that I am back, I will try to do these again every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central Time. Send me a note, drop a comment. I'd love to hear from you and what other topics you're interested in or want to learn more about, because I still have my Mana Minute series, which is about to enter season 3. And I will be answering your questions in under 2 minutes. You can find me pretty much anywhere at Manamica, Manamica, except TikTok. And we're going to talk about that another time. And I will see you back here next week.